Hello, welcome back to How to RPG, How to Role-Playing Games, and today's a bit special because I'm actually going to unbox and review one of the very first games I ever played. It was a board game, Hero Quest, and one of the things I loved about this game is I played it with my family all the time. Like, it was the game we played. So I'm going to put up a poll. I'm going to go through this as quickly as I can and try to give you sort of my opinion on it. I know everybody else has probably done reviews on this board game a long time ago, so this is probably nothing new. But I'll put this poll up. Grab some food, some drink. Make sure you are comfortable. I'll do my very best to go through the topic and be reasonably specific about what my opinion is. Okay. And I'm looking forward to this. I have not actually opened the box. I haven't actually seen the pieces for myself. I've seen videos of people opening this thing, but that's about it. So it'll be interesting to see how it all turns out in the end. I guess one of the things you're probably wondering, why am I doing a review on a board game when the channel's How to RPG or How to Role-Playing Games, and I deal with role-playing games and Dungeons and Dragons, because I'm going back to the beginning, and I think that's probably the best way for me to explain it. I am going back to the beginning because I need to go back to the beginning. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it this way. So let's do this. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today it's all about the team. And this board game that I'm going to review today, Hero Quest, is a game that I played with my family for hours and hours and hours. I think I was about 15, which means this is about 35 years ago. And we played it till the thing fell apart. Like there was pieces scattered everywhere. The box was destroyed. I was playing with my brothers and sisters, and they were a lot younger than I was. I was 15, my brother was 14, and all of my siblings were significantly younger. So it made a big difference because some of my siblings were like 4 years old, and they were still playing the game with us, even though the board game it says it's made for a particular age group. That really didn't matter to anybody, frankly. In the end, we all wound up playing it to some degree, and it was very, very common. So this is the board game. This is what I got. Can I just say it was expensive? It's an expensive board game in New Zealand. I don't know how much you paid yourself if you ever buy it in your country, but $280 New Zealand is how much I wound up having to pay for this. It was just downright. I've never paid so much for a board game in my life. It's also one of the largest board game boxes I've seen. I've seen board game boxes that are about this size, but this is one of the largest board game boxes I've ever seen. How's it going, Justin? How are you doing? Awesome, Fred. I still need to get mine. Still wish I had my original set and expansions. Many thanks. I feel the same way, but I also realized that it was 35 years ago, and I was like 15, 16, 17, 18 when I was playing this thing, and my brothers and sisters were younger, and so it's just how it is. Hi, Michael. Michael's a patron. How are you doing? Thank you for showing up. You never heard of the game? It looks cool. So, the artwork, the first thing I noticed about the artwork is definitely digital, but it throws it right back to what I remember. The original artwork was not digital, of course. And you can't see the entire box because it is so large and my camera cannot actually accept the entire image, which is a little bit of a pain in the butt, I have to say. And it also makes it difficult for me to actually sort of show everything off. So I'll move it so you can see this is High Adventure in a World of Magic. So for ages 14 upward, I can assure you many of us were much younger than 14 and between 2 and 5 players. So essentially that meant for us, that wasn't going to work. There's 6 of us. I had 3 sisters and 2 brothers, and then there's me. So there's 6 of us playing this game. So we played this with 6 people, okay? 6 kids playing this basically together. A family activity. Originally made by Avalon, and now it's put out by Hasbro, which of course Hasbro's gotten the the ugly stick recently by just about everybody, including myself. But in this case, I will. This isn't Dungeons and Dragons, and I've wanted to get hold of this thing for like forever, so it's happening. So one of the first things I discovered is the actual box artwork itself is the original one had a really gloss finish to it, and this one does not have that kind of surfacing. So it's actually really easy to scuff and damage the box artwork. There was a label, like a price tag. Make sure you don't just peel it off, because I don't know if you can notice here, but this is where the price tag was. It actually takes it off. That never happened with the original. One of the things I noticed with the original is when you could peel something off and it wouldn't damage it. Okay? The same thing, there's stickers on the side. You would have to heat them up probably with a heat gun and try not to burn the cardboard, and then peel them off very slowly, just because the glue is strong enough to take off the coloured art. It's not a proper gloss finish. It's cheaply made, I got the feeling. So let me get this off. This little sucker has got a bit of suction on it, and it's because it's so tall, because it's such a large, deep box. It's going to take me a little while to get it off. And then, of course, we've got the artwork underneath. I would show you the back of it probably too. I'll do that now. But it's a huge, deep box. It's probably about, I would say, 3 times thicker than the original game box that I got many years ago. So that's a lot. Like that's an enormous amount. So I'm kind of expecting there to be a lot in here. But I've heard that that's not really the case. So you can see the, it sort of shows you off. It kind of looks like you're playing Dungeons and Dragons or any kind of role-playing game. You've got your sort of Game Master or Dungeon Master screen. In this case, they call it something else, that doesn't matter. You get a couple of characters. You get a wizard, an elf, a dwarf, and a barbarian. In our case, we wound up using a proxy miniature because we had 5 players, not 4 players, or playing heroes, that is, in my family. 70 plus detailed miniatures, everything under the sun you could imagine. 31 monster miniatures, 4 hero miniatures, 15 furniture pieces. Yes, there's furniture in this thing. 10 skull pieces. Interesting. I remember the skull pieces and the rat things. You would stick them into little peg holes. And 4 plastic rat pieces. 21 dungeon doors. Those dungeon doors were such a pain. 93 game cards. 3 turn order cards, and then you've got your cardboard tiles, and then there's a bunch of, like, there's some quests, there's a quest book, and 4 character cards. So it's reasonably simple to play. This is why we played it so much. 4 white combat dice, the red dice, 2 of them, rule book, and your a pad of character sheets, because you'll need them, and your DM screen. So that's what's in there. It's quite a bit. Anyway, so let me turn it back over and get this thing open so you can actually see what's inside. Now, my intention when I bought this game was, one, to go back to the beginning, but also I very much intend to do follow-up videos on it. One, showing people how to play the game. Come on, sucker, come off. And the other thing is showing people how they could probably modify the game, because I kind of like the idea of being able to modify it. Alright, so let's get this insert out. Will it come out easily? I know, it's actually part of a tray, so I've got to take the whole tray out. And then there's another tray underneath. Well, this is interesting. Okay, so I'll take that tray out. Where am I going to stick it? That's a good question. I'll put this over there, and we should be able to get to it reasonably easy. Alright, there's another tray, boxed up. A lot lighter. We'll just keep going until we get to the bottom. What's this? This looks like this is the game board. We'll have a look at that in a second. This is the screen, the Game Master screen. And what's this? Is this a spacer? Is this a filler to make the box seem bigger? Okay, all right. So there's literally a spacer in this thing. Would you believe it? I can't believe well, that's the going thing nowadays, isn't it? Make the box. Look, I guess nobody's going to pay for it if they think that the box is smaller. Yeah, $280. You need to really have a really big box. Good Lord. All right, so I'm not terribly happy about the fact that there's a spacer in this thing. The spacer, that's how thick it is. That's what it looks like. That's how thick. That's almost, it's very close to the thickness of the original board game. Like, I think the board game was a little bit thicker than that, but that's pretty close to it. So you've got a spacer in it to make it look bigger. So it's more packed up. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so let's have a look at our first item. And I'm going to undo this. Oh, there it is. And take this out, and then we do that. Okay, well, this is rubbish that needs to be out of the way, and then we peel that off. And get rid of that. All right, so first things first. That's the rule book. Okay, so there's the rule book. Game system rule book. Now, if I remember right, the rule book itself is very, very simple. There's not a lot to it. It's pretty easy to follow. You can get into the game very fast. And I won't remember the original game book, but I'll cycle through this. I like all the artwork. It still looks very digital compared to what I saw originally, but I don't know that I'm against that. You know, I think that's actually perfectly fine in this situation. It looks to me like they've done their best to try to make it feel like the original. And it looks reasonably cool. Hero movement. Oh, this is one of the things I remember about movement. Used to annoy me in this game because usually you're rolling dice. Looking and opening doors. Zargon is basically the game master or dungeon master in this game, by the way. Zargon, you've got somebody who plays Zargon, which controls all the monsters and creatures. Attacking, hero attacks, monster defend. Yeah, so there's an attacking and a defending process in this game. And yes, you can cast spells, searching for traps, trying to find treasure. There's a lot of traps you got to avoid in this thing. Traps are bad. They hurt. They hurt a lot. And then of course you got hero death, but also escaping death. Okay, so that's the rule book, which looks pretty good. I haven't had a chance to actually look at it and sort of study it a bit more, but we will eventually. And then what's this thing? This looks like this is the quest book. Pretty obvious because it says quest on it. What's on the back? Oh, okay. Looks nice. Looks pretty cool. I like it so far. Pretty happy with what I've seen. Yeah, the spacer is huge. You're absolutely right. I don't understand companies who do this because I think they don't. I suppose you've already bought the box, and so what are you going to do? You're going to take the box back? I don't know how much it would cost in American dollars. I've put a link down below to Amazon, purchasing it off Amazon in North America. I have no idea what it would be. So we have a little bit of a story to warm you up, a bit of artwork. This here is for Zargon. This is the Game Master book, or the Dungeon Master book, and basically this gives you all the scenarios and adventures. You can make up your own. There should be a blank one on the back here. The trial, I don't even know if these are the original ones that were put in it. It probably weren't. I understand the original creator of Hero Quest was brought on board to actually write a lot of this stuff, so that sounds cool. So you wind up boxing off certain areas. Some aspects of the location or the actual board aren't used. The rescue of Sir Ragnar. So that's right, Ragnar was a major character in this. Lair of the Orc Warlord. You'll notice that a lot of the dungeons or locations are quite small because you couldn't survive a huge location. You'd wind up getting destroyed otherwise. Prince Magnus's Gold. Some notes. So your scenario is the in white at the top, and that's what you go with. So reasonably simple. There's nothing too difficult about this. Mala's Maze, Legacy of the Orc Warlord. We're back to Orc Warlords again. Okay. The Lost Wizard. Okay. Yes. The Fire Mage. Some of these were quite difficult, if I remember right. They weren't an easy time. Sometimes they were really difficult. Race Against Time. It's not like you could easily heal up your injuries. This looks like this might be a teleporting. Is this a teleporting dungeon? Oh, Castle of Mystery. What's that, Justin? 135 on Amazon, on sale for 116 cents. That's American. It's a lot of money. Like it's a big chunk. I think you're doing better if you look at the exchange rate for American money to New Zealand money. In New Zealand money, that would probably equate to a cost of $170, whereas I'm actually paying $280 in New Zealand, because you could not. It's not like I could ship it from Amazon to New Zealand and it not wind up costing more than $280. So you're doing significantly better than me. You can't even imagine what it would be like if you're outside of North America. Very expensive board game. Yeah, they do seem a little bit familiar. I've not played the game for about 35 years. It's pretty much me too. Is that Jarvan? Is it Jarvan? Hopefully I got Jarvan. Bastion of Dread. Barrock Tor, Barrow of the Witch Lord. They might be part of the expansion. Maybe they're part of the expansion they put in here. Quest for the Spirit Blade. Return to Barrock Tor. And then it's got a ledger. Design your own adventures. There's a blank one. So you photocopy this. Photocopy that. And then you draw in all of the different things that you need in the rooms, whether it be traps or monsters or treasure chests, furniture pieces. You just draw them in, and that's what the ledger's for, so you can see what it looks like. Not that that's going to be necessarily that easy for people to draw in. It gives you a list of the monsters, so if you're wondering what type of monsters there is, it's sort of like a limit. They give you the sort of standard staple stuff. You got your goblin, your dread warrior. I used to call them just like chaos warriors, but dread warrior, mummies, orcs, skeletons. There's a gargoyle. There should be just one gargoyle. Abomination. I think the abomination is new. I don't remember there being an abomination before. Zombies and dread sorcerer. I'm just trying to remember if there was an abomination. I don't remember there being an abomination. If somebody ever played the original board game, you let me know. But I don't remember it. And then a little blurb at the back. And then we have that. So that's the adventure book. All right, so we've got that out of the way. Let's have a look at the screen. Okay, so let's look at the inside of the screen first. This is supposed to help you figure out how to run the game fairly quickly. So it's designed around that completely. So hero's turn, monster's turn, laid out for you. Movement, action, movement, action. Very simple. There's none of those swift actions or minor actions or bonus actions or free actions. It's just move, action, that's it. Move on. Our monster charts. So this gives us our movement. You're moving in squares, since the board is divided up into squares rather than 5 feet. And your attack dice. So this represents how many dice you roll for your attack. Defending dice is how many dice you roll for defending. Body parts, body points. This is basically how many hits you can take before you're dead. When you hit 0, you're toast. And then mind points, I think that's to deal with magic, if I remember right, but I could be wrong. And then combat summary. So, yep, and then the artwork, if you wanted to see that, which I'm sure you do. So we've got Zargon over the Overlord, looking over the gargoyle, the goblins, Now, what was there? I'm sure there was like a Master Sorcerer, Orcs, Zombies, the Abomination, Chaos Warriors. I'm just wondering. I didn't see that there. Am I missing something? Oh, I think what's missing. I think there is something missing here. I didn't notice it before. There was a spellcaster. I know Dread Sorcerer. And the Dread Sorcerer still exists. It just looks very different. Okay, so that is the screen. I'm trying to find a place for you to go that's safe. I think for now I'll just have to move that, and I'll put it over here. And we're doing all right so far. Not too bad. Next, these look like the traps. There's a staircase. This is where your starting point would be. That's a grate of some kind. I don't know what that's supposed to be. It looks like some sort of, I'm not too sure. Skulls on one side, pit traps on the other. These must be secret doors that you can open, because you can search for secret doors. What's this? Sorry. They used to be firmer, not abominations. Okay, thank you. I was wondering about that. I couldn't remember. I don't remember the abomination either, but I do remember firmer. One-eyed and a tail. Kind of like a bugbear. Right, yeah. Chaos Warriors. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we used to call them Chaos Warriors. I think they were called that. And the Witch Lord. And it's now the Dread Sorcerer. Yep. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. So you punch these out. I won't do that right now. This must be a rock fall. And that there, a blocked passageway. I'm not too sure. So there's a couple of things there for various purposes. Mostly looks like traps, and yeah, it looks like mostly traps. Okay, so the actual board itself, which is probably way too big for me to unfold and show you. I would imagine that the space is just too small to accept the board. It folds up into 4 pieces, and there's a cut down it. So if I can I do it this way? So when you look at the board, the game board's very, very large. That's just half the board. And then that sort of, you block off certain sections, you keep other sections available, and then that way as well. I don't know if I can actually get it in there. I wonder if I can. I would like to be able to put the board down so I can just do stuff over the top of it. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? See if I can get these boxes out of the way, because we're going to open these boxes up and see what's inside. 1, 2, give me a second and just I'll move this out of the way. Sorry about that. Okay, so that doesn't give you the complete view of the thing, but it's close. Oh, there's so much stuff here, and it's heavy. All right. So yes, you can't get the whole thing into my screen, and I wouldn't be able to get it on the other camera anyway, so it won't make any difference. Again, the surface doesn't feel as smooth and glossy. You know, a gloss finish just makes pages and cardboard stronger, and this doesn't have that, which I think is a problem. I think survivability of the game is going to be an issue for people. I mean, the original was just so durable. I mean, we were all so young when we were playing it, so it got banged around a lot. It's not like we thought that this game would never get printed again. I like the idea that they reprint, Hasbro or whatever company owns HeroQuest, just reprints HeroQuest just like they would reprint Monopoly and The Game of Life and Trivial Pursuit and Yahtzee and whatever else. I think it's one of those games that just needs to keep getting made. Right, what do you got here? Nostalgic? Yeah, it is. It's very nostalgic, I have to say. Right, let's grab the next thing. This is a tray full of stuff. I'm going to slide this out. Hard for me to keep track of which of these style games I have or have not played. So, yeah, fair enough. So, so many out there. There are a lot. There are a lot of games. I think this was the first one that I knew of that was like this sort of, there were others that came after. So it's kind of just combat scenarios that you, it's very much combat, searching for traps, finding treasure. That's really all it is. But I'm going to suggest how to expand on it a little bit in the future, don't you worry. I think I played it with my son about 35 years ago. Is it that old? It is that old, Fred. It's that old. I'm 31 and I played it like about 35 years ago. The last 3 quests are linked and 2 of the Orc quests are linked. Otherwise, no real link. The expansions are more of a campaign setting. Okay, thank you, Justin. Right, let's have a look at what's got inside. Okay, so this is the first tray, which has got a whole bunch of miniatures, which is a good start, right? You probably wanted to see the miniatures in the first place, so let me just make sure I put it in the center. We've got the dice. One of the problems with the dice is they used to wear out because they were wooden dice and they were printed. Oh, okay. These dice look very nice. These are very nice looking dice. What I do notice is that the skulls and the shields have been indented. So then there's paint going over the top of that. So that means one of the problems is that, with the original dice is they used to wear out. The paint would come off and you would have no way of getting additional spare dice because you couldn't buy spare dice for the game. You had to buy the entire board game all over again. If you could find the board game, that is. So this is really cool. I like the fact that this has happened. Because that means those dice will actually last quite a long time. And they've done that. It's indented and then black paint over the top, which just means they just survive longer. Well, that's awesome. Very happy about that. So those are the dice we have. These are combat dice. There's a bunch of them. You need a few. And there are 6 in total. And then we have standard 6-sided dice. This is just for movement. You roll these 2 for moving, if I remember right. I can't remember exactly, but pretty sure that's right. And now, I understand that these miniatures may have technical issues. Here's the dwarf. Hello, Wally. How are you doing, buddy? Magic the Gathering board game. Interesting. I don't know too much about the Magic the Gathering board game myself, but what I will do is I will stick the dice over there for now so you can still see it, and I will pull these out one at a time and then just settle them over here out of the way. That should work. Yeah, just got a notification of a live stream that happened 17 hours ago. Thank you, YouTube. That's YouTube for you. Okay, so the dwarf miniature. I think the sculpt is fine. Is the axe is a little flimsy. One of the things, it's a little flimsy. I feel like it might break off. One of the things with the original Hero Quest is the plastic was tough. It could survive. Everything was made to last. But it's a nice sculpt. It looks good. I'm not going to complain about that at all. That looks really nice. The next one, this is the Barbarian. Can we get it out? Yes, we can. Barbarian, the sword's a little bit bent, but you can probably heat that up and fix that. And the sword, I would have to say, is probably a bit thinner than the original one. But the sculpt itself it's fine. It's probably a little bit better than the original, I would say. Actually, I would say it's probably... I'll put my hand behind it. Maybe that's a better way for me to do this. Otherwise, you won't be able to see it very clearly. Yeah, I'll just check to see. Yeah, I'll do my hand and then the miniature and then I'll turn it so that you can see it. That's probably the best way. So that's that one, and then the dwarf. You won't be able to see all the detail because it's not painted. They're unpainted, of course. You have to paint them yourself if you want them painted, which is exactly what I did, as you do. Justin, Wally DM, purchased your Journal of Puzzle Encounters a couple of weeks ago, and I'm loving it. I can't wait to incorporate some of them into my games. So Justin, anybody who's watching, I can assure you that Wally DM is probably I would say the definitive expert in creating puzzles for a role-playing game. I haven't seen anybody do it like Wally does. And Wally's a very humble fellow. He always gets he always feels very self-conscious when somebody says something like that. But it's simply true. Wally knows what he's doing. He really does understand how real people have to operate in a game and try to present a puzzle. I've heard of this game, but I've never seen any of it. So, hi, Todd. Todd is a patron. Welcome, and thank you for coming. You still have the Magic the Gathering computer game on PC. I think I was at Windows 95. Oh my gosh, really? Holy Toledo. So we're going to be doing a Game Master Roundtable today with Wally and AJ Pickett and Bearbard Tales, and also with No Fun Allowed. I haven't seen No Fun Allowed for ages, or Alex from Bearbard Tales, so it'll be good. This is, I believe, what is it? Is it the Ranger? There's a Rogue. Oh, this must be a Rogue. There used to be like, was it Miley? It was like a halfling. So they've got rid of the halfling, and this is the new character, which looks really good. The sword is very thin. It'll be very easy to break that off. And it doesn't sit flat. You serious? So it's warped. The base is warped. None of that happened with the original board game, by the way. So, right, let's pull that one out. This is the wizard. And, yep, I mean, nothing special, but at least the staff is solid. It's not going to break on you, not easily. The hand may be a bit different. The sculpt, obviously the sculpts are very nice, but I think maybe the selection of plastic is not a great idea. What they've done here is just not quite going to be strong enough. Just started watching No Fun Allowed series on Tomb of Annihilation. Yeah, he's done a series on pretty much every Wizards of the Coast pre-made adventure. He won't be doing that in the future. I think you'll find that it's very unlikely. My group decided to do that one and do that one next. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, cool. This is the Dread Sorcerer, I guess. Is this the Dread Sorcerer? Very delicate little staff there. The miniature itself looks great. What's going on here? There's something weird going on here. Is that a mold line or some sort of, what's going on there? That's weird. I don't know what that is. Is it a bit of flashing left over, or it's a great huge chunk of it? So there's some sort of defect in that one. All right, let's see what else have we got here. Let's pull out the. Oh, that's not good. This looks like this could easily break. Let's just push it from underneath. Will it come out? Will I lose the weapon in the process? That bent it. These shells are holding it really, really tight. I don't know that I'm very happy about that. And you can see there's already stress on the mace. The miniature itself is probably far. I mean, the sculpt itself is far more impressive than the original. But I have to say they needed to make the weapons a little bit thicker in the shaft so that it's stronger. The shield's not going to come off. I think the original shields you have to glue on. You had to push them on. They had pegs or whatever. The fact that they mounted in is nice, but the weapon is bent as well. I don't really want to pull all of those out. That just seems like it's going to cause me too much strife. Yeah, definitely weaker. Probably, I don't know, about maybe more brittle, but I don't know. I'd have to drop one. I don't want to do that, actually. I feel that would be a bad idea. I think the original heroes were Barbarian, Elf, Dwarf, and Wizard. Okay, expansions brought in female Barbarian, female Elf, and mercenaries you could hire. That's right, I remember the mercenaries. Had those miniatures for ages. Not as a good quality today. Yeah, quality control's definitely an issue. Same old molds. I don't know. No, they're definitely different molds. These sculpts do look superior, yeah. So you think that they are bigger than the standard miniatures that we use? No, I don't think you're. I mean, they're a little bit bigger. So here's a barbarian, and here is a Dungeons and Dragons miniature. So you can see that they're actually about the same. They really are. I mean, you could use these miniatures in your Dungeons and Dragons game. So I don't believe that they are bigger. So these ones definitely can be used in Dungeons and Dragons. Proportionately, they are fine. They are about the same. Yeah. So I wouldn't say you got that as a problem. The old ones were very tough. I used to use them for 8 years old. Yes, absolutely. An 8-year-old, you could play with them and be fine. Okay, so there's gargoyle. Let's pull this gargoyle out. Oh, is it going to come out? Yeah. Okay, there we go. So this is definitely more flimsy. This is definitely softer and weaker, and that's bent, and that's slightly bent. But the sculpts look really good. I feel like the original gargoyle was actually I kind of like the original gargoyle. The new one, it's all right. It's just I don't like the idea of everything being bent. Anyway, that's the gargoyle, which is cool. You always were afraid if you ever found the gargoyle in the game, you didn't want to be part of that. These look really cool, but that spear is way too. It's bent also, and it's going to be too soft. But the sculpt on this little sucker is pretty awesome. Kind of terrifying. Fish from hell. That's what it is. Fish from hell. And then that's the same sort of one. That's all the same. What else have I not pulled out here? What is this? This is an orc. What have they done to the top of his head? There's a lot of funny things. There's like, what's this yellow, is this white stuff on here? I don't know what that is. Okay, so this is the orc. The orc, the orc axe is actually probably in better shape because it's being held with two hands, so it's probably less likely to break. The sculpt itself is fine, but there's some imperfections that are a bit weird. I don't know what's going on there. Can I pull another one? Is there a better version of this? Yeah, this is better, but there's still a couple of things going on here that are odd. Okay, so that's orcs, and then we've got skeletons. Now they've gone with pretty much the same sort of design as the original. I've still got the original skeletons. Those are the one things that I didn't sort of lose over the years. I've even got some of the original zombies. That there is not nearly as strong as the original, but I mean the sculpt's all right. It's certainly got a little bit more detail, but there isn't a huge difference. I think the original ones were a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. Right, what have we got here? We've got a goblin. Goblin with an axe. No, that's a chopper. So this is a goblin with a chopper. Pretty good. I like the sculpt. It looks really nice, and that's actually not too bad. Although I still feel like it's kind of going to cause problems. But yeah, that happens, I guess. What else we got here? We've got another one, different type. You got is it 2 daggers? Goblin with 2 daggers rather than a chopper. This looks like maybe even a female. Yeah, this looks like a female goblin. You've got earrings. Maybe that's, yeah, I think that's, yeah. You've even put little breasts on it. Good Lord. Really? And then this one has got, this has just got a short sword goblin. And he's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. That short sword's going to be a little bit of an issue, I guess, eventually. Right, so next we've got here, this is the mummy. The mummy's all right. I mean, it looks a lot weaker and spindlier than the original, but it seems reasonably well designed, so things won't break off too easily. Those fingers may give you problems later on because they've tried to make the fingers spread out, which I don't think was necessary. There's even a bit of an imperfection there. There's something weird going off there. Oh, is that? No, that's a bandage. No, it's not an imperfection. That's all right. That's all cool. All right, so that's the mummy. This here, is this some sort of, is this a mummy champion or a zombie fighter? I'm not too sure. With a shield. Yeah, it's all right. Look, I don't think the detail on it is that great though. I think the undead are not quite as good as some of the other miniatures here. And then what we've got here is, I don't know what this is. Pull this out carefully. This looks like another orc, but with a very large sword that is bent again. It is a bent sword. And yeah, the detail around it, not too bad. It looks all right. It's fine. I'm actually, yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be all right. Gonna have to do a little bit of fixing up of looks. This is a female orc. So they've gone with male and female. This bent weapon. The arm's a little bit not molded quite right, and she's got like a funny little hairstyle going on there. Okay, all right, that's that one. And the last one over here. This is. I'm not too sure what this is supposed to be. This feels like this is another hero miniature. No, maybe it's an orc. It's another orc. It's just a different type of orc. So what have they included? They've included 2 male orcs and 4 female orcs. Really? They have. It looks like, well, that's what they've done. I wasn't expecting that. So that's interesting. Not something I would expect. Okay, so right now, when you're taking these miniatures out of the shell, be really careful because it looks to me like they could easily break. They are so soft and and bendy. Putting them back in is going to be difficult. I can see that now. Even if I could remember where everything is supposed to go, if I go backwards, maybe that'll help. Something like that, something like this. That one goes there, and then this one goes, no, somewhere like this. No, I don't know where they go. I don't know where they go. So yeah, I have to figure that out some of the time, I guess. So what is my opinion of these miniatures? I think that some of it is all right. Certainly the improvements in the quality of the sculpts, these are definitely a big factor going on there. I think that's definitely something that they've done, is they've tried to improve on that. But yeah, there's other things there that make me kind of concerned about what they've done. Because let's get real. If you're going to buy anything like this, you've got to have something that's going to last over time. It's no good buying something if all the pieces are going to break. And you'd have to be very, very careful. So if you've got your youngsters playing with this, it's going to make life a little bit difficult, because they're probably going to find it hard to play with the pieces without them breaking. So you're going to be doing a bit of gluing and repair jobs on this. And yeah, just pushing these little suckers back in here if I can. That doesn't work. That apparently does. My dice, we'll shove them back in there. But look, I have to say, vast improvement on the dice. I think that the dice and what they did with them, I'm really happy with the dice. That's not good enough for an entire board game. Improving your dice doesn't change the fact that your miniatures are a little bit weird. I'm going to get onto the actual terrain in a second. Now, one of the things with the terrain, it was one of the first times you ever got terrain, and it felt like getting that terrain was a big deal. Like it was so important having that terrain. It made all the difference in the board game. And if it hadn't had the terrain, I think it wouldn't have done nearly as successfully as it did when it was first released. But this is... Okay, alright, so let me just see if I can just slide this out of the way. So all of this you're going to be seeing again in the future. I will be doing, as part of my rules side of things, I will be covering it. Yeah, whatever. Good Lord. Okay. As part of my rules live stream, I'm going to be covering HeroQuest, the game system itself. Alright, so last tray. This is the last little bit that we need to show off. What is the recommended ages for the game? It is 14 upward, because noting how the flimsy miniature are they're not 8-year-old sort of stuff. Yeah, absolutely. What I would say is you're probably going to, if you've got miniatures, you'll be swapping out the miniatures for some other miniatures that you've got. So if you've already got miniatures that could represent a skeleton, I mean, none of these miniatures are, things you probably don't already have if you've got miniatures. If you don't have miniatures, there would be an issue. But most of this stuff is stuff you'll probably already have. Okay, so here is where things change for me. And my opinion is going to probably be very, very different with regard to this, just because I can see almost immediately a vast improvement. The rules and easy of play with the game makes it perfect for that age group. Yeah, but no way my models would have lasted if the weapons were that flimsy. Exactly. So I think you'd have to swap them out for the rubbery fantasy miniatures. The scenery is far superior. That's the first thing I noticed, because the original doors, these are doorways here. I'm not going to pull them all out, but the original doorways were made up. You had a stand that you would put a hard cardboard door frame into, and of course they would bend, and they lasted a long time, but they were prone to damage. This, even with the mold lines on it, sits mostly flat but not completely. Some of them are a little bit rocky. You might have to trim a bit of stuff off to make sure they sit flat, but these are strong. This is a vast improvement over the original. That door frame right there is significantly better, and there's plenty of them. You have closed doors as well, and look at that. That is tough. That's going to last. That can survive getting thrown across the room. I don't think it'll shatter. I would throw it at my door, but I don't think that's a good idea, because then I've got to find it. What do we got here? We've got a bookshelf. Looks like a bookshelf. And the bookshelf, I might just leave that out. So I've got an example of it. The bookshelf is awesome. I really like it. Oh, it goes that way. Okay, all right. So the bookshelf is awesome. It's solid. It used to be made out of partly plastic at the base, and then of course you would make up a cardboard sort of rectangle or box, and you would slot it into the base, the plastic base. This is going to last a long time, so I'm really pleased to see that. That's really nice. They did a really good job there. Is this another bookcase or something else? Let me just see if I can get it out. Okay, so this is just a closed cabinet. Okay, yeah, sweet. A little bit different to the other one. This looks like it's exactly the same as the last one. I think this bookcase is the same. Yeah. Okay, yes, it is essentially the same kind of bookcase. Okay, so bookcases. We've got a fireplace. Yes, there was a fireplace now, if I remember right. Look at that. That is awesome. You've got the picture above. You've got the flames. You've got the men-at-arms on the side, mantelpiece. It's even got brick behind it. That looks really good. That's impressive. What do you got here? This is the crypt. Man, you're going to love the crypt. Oh my gosh, it opens up. You can stick something in it. And it's decent. It's not made out of plastic and cardboard. It's just plastic. And it's strong. It's not going to break. That's awesome. So that is the crypt, people. So if you're worrying about this being... yeah, the fireplace is amazing, Wally. I agree. So, yeah, and I think this is probably why the box set is so expensive, is because they've made all of the terrain pieces out of plastic or some sort of resin. I feel like it is plastic rather than resin. It feels more like a type of plastic. Treasure chests used to be plastic and cardboard, but mostly cardboard that you would make up. And if I can get the thing to come out, you need a thing for the crypt. Exactly, you need something to go in the crypt. Absolutely. Cool, blimey, Wally. There's a lot of terrain in this thing. I know you're a terrain fiend. What's this, Justin? Agreed. A night and a day difference. Yeah, those board game cardboard ones were fun, but the scenery alone is tipping the scale in favour of the purchase. Yeah, I understand this. Yeah, so I'm feeling a lot better about the fact that some of the miniatures aren't as good as I would have liked. Bummer it's Hasbro, I totally get that. But then here's the problem. Hasbro makes everything. Like, what does Hasbro not make? You know what I mean? They've bought up everybody. There isn't anybody left. There's hardly anybody that still even registers. When I look at board games in New Zealand, when I go into a shop, every single thing has got Hasbro on them. Maybe different if you're in North America. Those treasure chests are great. I'm not going to pull them all out. I'm a little bit worried about the little rats there. I don't know about pulling them out. What's this? This is going to be a hassle. I know, it came out fine. So this must be the workstation, the study. I believe that's the study, and it's really good. Now, what about the bottles? There's bottles sitting on there. They don't come off. They used to have bottles you had to insert, I believe, but these are actually fixed, and the scale is strong. It's not going to break. That's a good piece of terrain, man. That's nice. Cool. The weapons rack was always a pain in the ass. And it's going to be a pain in the ass this time round. I can see it right now. What's this? Oh God. Oh, okay. This is an altar. I believe it's an altar with a book and some candlesticks that are mounted. It's reasonably strong. The candlesticks are the only things that could potentially break off, but they aren't that flimsy. They're reasonably, yeah, I don't know. It's 1.5 of the other. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. The alchemy bench. Is that the alchemy bench? Okay, all right. I'm getting my information wrong. This has got to be the weapons rack. This has got to be the stretching rack. Let's pull this little sucker out. This used to be one of my favorite pieces. Putting a rack into your location is an absolute must. It is strong. Yes, it is. It's strong, durable, and it looks good. Like all the terrain does look good. It looks really nice. What's this? It's a throne? It is a throne. Okay. So the throne is actually pretty good too. There's a bit of flashing and residue here that suggests to me, and it's been glued in parts, that sort of suggests that it's an assembly job. Somebody's glued it in the factory. But it's reasonably strong and it looks good. So yeah, the throne, nothing wrong with that throne. It looks nice. Pretty happy with that. What's this here? Looks fun so far. It does look fun. This is a table. Obviously we need tables. No, it's strong enough. I don't know that I like this design here, how they've done this. Do you see that? I feel like that just could potentially cause problems. I wish they had made it so that the table just came straight down. It was just solid rather than having this big space. It's very stylish, yes, but it's totally impractical, and it's not how you would make a table in medieval times. Medieval times, it would just be a great huge slab of wood, because they made things that you remember, medieval and fantasy times, they're not manufacturing like the Chinese. Okay, so they're not trying to get you to buy it again in about 3 months. So they'd actually make it to survive. So I feel like the design on that is not as great as it could be. I had to say it. It's another table, which looks like it's in decent condition. Doesn't look like it's bad. I'm a little worried about pulling this little sucker out. So give me a second while I see if I can push it from behind. Oh, there's another. Is this another tray underneath? Oh, and it's cardboard. Oh, it's a bunch of cardboard. Is this to strengthen it so it doesn't damage? Hasbro, dudes, like, your furniture is strong as you don't need to put a cardboard insert into the plastic shell to make it even stronger. That was unnecessary. Stick it in the other one with they actually had the miniatures, because there wasn't one for the miniatures. No, there isn't. You stick it in with the furniture one. What are you doing? What are you doing, people? I don't know. That's weird. I'm still trying to get this sucker out. I'm really worried about the weapon rack. Okay, it came. Whoa. Push from behind. Do not grab it from the front. This is bent. There's some bendy going on. It is not that strong. I don't feel confident that it will last over time. This is the one piece of terrain that I'm going to give it a not good enough. I feel like they should have just made it a solid section and then just put the weapons up against it so that it had a chance of surviving a decent amount of time. That is also slightly bent because it is so flimsy. And it is very, very flimsy. Very flimsy. What do you got here? I would say yes, that the terrain is made from a different type of plastic resin compared to the miniatures. No, I think it's the same plastic or resin. I think it's the same one. The only difference is the design. They've made it in such a way that there's generally no small bits sticking off that you can break off easily. That's the only difference. Now this looks like, are these skulls? Oh, come on, you. You're going to be kidding me. I can't push from behind. Got one. Okay, these, I'm not going to pull all those out. I'm just pulling one out. So this looks like a skull, a couple of skulls, and some bones. Actually, is that supposed to be skulls on both sides? Or is it just skulls on one side? I can't tell. Is that a defect? Or is that deliberate? I don't understand. Is there supposed to be skulls on both sides of this or just on one side? How does that work? How many skulls was there supposed to be? It says on the box, where is it? 10 skull pieces. 10 skull pieces. Really? 10 skull pieces? I don't see 10 skull pieces. Am I blind? Okay, so that's, I got 2 there. That makes 4. Oh no. Oh, this is not good. This is really bad. So your skulls, they're not proper skulls. They're defective on one side. So there is a major defect. So you would not, if you did the spruce properly, you would get 12, not 10. But the problem is that one side of the mold didn't work, and you wound up with a hodgepodge of garbage on one side rather than a proper skull. So you only really get 6 skulls, not 10 skulls. Now, is that a big selling point for you? I don't know. They don't have pegs on them like the old ones did, so you can't stick them into anything. I don't know what hell you're supposed to do with them. I think leaving the skulls out in the first place was probably a better idea. The skulls are on the spruce, yeah. They're literally on the spruce. One of them, yeah, there's 2 that are fine, and the other 2 are suck. They suck shit. They look really bad. They did not come out. Anyway. So yeah, skulls. So there's a big downer on that one. So what do we got here? Because it looks like the minis could do with being the same strength. Yeah, they needed to have been designed to so maybe they would have been a bit more chunkier, but that would have been better for survival. But a crafty guy could still think about where the knees would hit the table and maybe cut it out. Hi Kevin, how are you doing? Kevin Scott, I kind of missed you there. I didn't spot your name. I've just been responding, and I didn't say anything about Fred Hubber. Fred is here. Hello. Magic Quest. I have seen it. I never bought it. Interesting props so far. The skulls are on the spruce, aren't they? Yes, they are on the spruce, Seeker. Hello, Seeker. How's it going? I remember the skulls, candles, and the rats in the place on various terrain bits in the original game. It looks like they tried to emulate that very poorly. Now, I don't want to pull out a rat, really. Unless it pops out, I don't want to do it because that tail looks like it's not going to survive. Oh my god, it flew. Okay, so rats, giant pain in the butt. These rats are... The rats are fine. It's just a little... I mean... Sweet, we've got a rat now. What are we going to do with a rat? I don't want to put it back. I'm going to leave it out. Okay, so that's all of that stuff. And then we've got this stuff here. So this, I'll move. These are all the cards. I'll try to rest this over here. And this is your character sheet, basically. So do you remember there used to be a hard cardboard character sheet? Well, we don't get that now. You get this. This is like a disposable character sheet. So you write your name, your character, attack, defense, your body points, your mind points, and then you've got your armor and your weapons, quests completed, gold, potions and other items. You'd never have enough space. So there's a great huge pad rather than those hard cardboard things that we had before for tracking. Is that an improvement? I don't know. I kind of miss the cardboard character sheet that we had before. But also too, the concept of leveling a character's like that didn't really happen, did it? That's not quite how it worked. Anyway, I'll put that to the side, out over here, and let's have a look at the cards. Now the cards should be made up of encounter cards and also magic spells. There should be magic spells in here. So let me just see if I can separate them. Hero quest, hero quest, hero quest. 1, 2, 2. No. Hero quest. What are these? The elf. Oh, so this is what they've done. I see what they've done now. Okay, so that's that one. What's this? This is your turns. Okay, I'll show you these in a second, people. Let me just separate them. I don't know what that is. Artifacts, 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 artifacts. There's a lot of artifacts. Equipment, artifacts, equipment. There's tons of equipment. If I remember right, there used to be so many cards. Keeping track of them all was a bit of a nightmare. Cards. Okay, here we go. And there's spells here. Spells. So these all just spells. There should be encounter cards as well. Earth spells. Man. 3 spells for each type. Okay. Treasure. So those are the spelled cards. These are the treasure cards. Treasure. Still going. My gosh, is it ever going to end? Oh, there's a lot of treasure cards. Okay. Right, so here's a few things here to show you. First off, you know how I was saying, where's the cardboard character sheet, where it gave you all the information on your characters? Now it's a little card. This is the wizard. This is what it looks like now. Okay, that's it. That's probably all you need. It probably didn't need to be a large card in the set. So that's the wizard. This here is the barbarian. Artwork still looks very nice, laid out all rightish. Elf, with all the stats for them. And then, of course, the last one is the dwarf, because you're playing a dwarf. Okay, so that's interesting. These Hero Quest cards, these just look like you give them to the players to explain what they can do on their turn, in terms of how to move and what to do with their action. So, very, very simple. It's a good idea. Most games kind of have something like that already. Overall looks pretty good. Okay, but maybe it's quite pricey, I would say. Have a great time, folks. I'm off to bed. No problems. Thank you for being here. They had those character sheets in the original, but the cardboard cutouts for each hero were really nice. Disappointing they didn't include those. Yeah, it's just a little card, a card now. It's just a little, like a playing card, basically. You can draw a little picture of what your character looks like on the pad. I don't know that there's space to do that. I suppose you could try over here. I don't think you could really do that easily. Treasure. What do we got here? So these are the treasure cards. When you find treasure or treasure chest, I'm assuming it's gems, gold, more gold, a hazard. Oops, that's spike trap, oops. Okay, it looks like you just got shot by a poison dart, heroic brew, jewels, more jewels, potion of defense, potion of healing, potion of strength, wandering monster, a couple of them. Oh, there's still a few more. We're still going, more wandering monsters. There's a lot more wandering monsters than anything else in terms of those that set. So that gives us our treasure. Artifacts. Looks like Pokemon. Okay, I don't know. Well, this is before Pokemon. Boron's armor. Wonder where they got that idea. Rod of telekinesis. Elixir of life. Fortune's longsword. The Orc's bane. Phantom blade. Ring of return. Ring of fortitude. Spell ring. Spirit blade. Talisman of lore. Wand of magic. Wizard's cloak and the wizard's staff. Okay, so kind of cool. What's on this one? I don't really know what that is, but we'll turn it over and have a look. Oh, these are the monster cards. So these are the monster cards. So if you're wondering what the monster cards look like, this gives you the stats for them. So there's the goblin, the mummy, the orc, skeleton, zombie, dread warrior, which used to be the chaos warrior, the abomination, and the gargoyle. But they don't have a card for the dread sorcerer. Got their own stats. Do you make that up for yourself? I don't know. There's nothing there for that. So the dread sorcerer, which is your main spellcasting villain, it's not there. Maybe that's something else we deal with later. Now, equipment. What sort of equipment can we have? Yeah, there are a lot of artifacts, but it's just a card. So it's a cardboard card. Like if they're going to spend this kind of money on the terrain, sticking in a few more artifacts is not a big deal, is it? Battle axe. Let me just do this. Battle axe. Oh, another battle axe. Braces, broadsword, chainmail, crossbow, dagger, hand axe, helmet. You got the prices, so you can buy these things as well. Holy water, longsword, plate mail, potion of speed, shield, short sword, staff, and toolkit for disarming stuff. And there's only one. So guess what? It looks like there's only one character who's supposed to be doing that. Not everybody under the sun. The Chaos Warlock or Witch Lord or Dread Sorcerer typically had custom stats. You could find in the quest notes. It's probably true. I didn't really see that there, but I'll have a look through the adventure book in a second. Now the spells. There's a bunch of spells here. So this is like D&D without a dungeon master. No, it's got a dungeon master. It actually does have a dungeon master. It has a game master called Zoron. You specifically get given a name called Zoron. You play Zoron, who is like it's the overarching mastermind in the game, who you never ever face. You never ever face Zoron. Zoron always throws his lieutenants and his monsters at you, but you never ever face Zoron. Zoron is like the villain that can never be found, and he never presents himself. So yeah, there is a game master or dungeon master, Kevin. So dread spells. This is Tempest. Summon undead. Summon orcs. Sleep. Rust. Oh, that's nice. Like that idea. Lightning bolt. Yep. Eeks. A firestorm. That sounds bad. Fear. Escape. Command. Cloud of Dread. I think these are for the villain, maybe. Ball of Flame. That's basically a fireball, isn't it? This is the water spells. These will be for the players. Water of Healing. Vial of Mist. And Sleep. Okay. Rock Skin is the Earth Elemental spell. You only get 3. Pass Through Wall. Kind of handy. Heal Body for the Earth one. Fire is Fire of Wrath, Courage, and Ball of Flame. Well, that's another fireball there, basically, isn't it? And the air elemental or air spells are Tempest, Swift Wind, and Genie. So, for those of you who are used to having lots and lots of different spells in your game, you probably would have to make up your own cards. I'm sure somebody's going to do that someday. So that's pretty cool. How do I feel about what I see here? I have no problem with this. Is good, and we kind of had that before anyway. The cards are all great. They all look very nice. Whether they will survive is another story, because I feel like the finish on everything is not a gloss finish. The terrain is awesome, apart from the skulls, the rats, and the weapon rack, but they are far superior than the original. I'm really happy they're going to survive a long time. There are some problems with some of those figures or miniatures. I can see that I will not be happy with the final result in some respects with that. The rule book looks great. The adventure book looks good. The tokens for the traps look good. The screen itself is actually pretty strong and durable by the looks. It's not as flimsy as some I've seen. It's going to be good enough. It'll be good enough for the job. The game board looks reasonably thick and tough, but it's just the surfacing. I'm just not convinced the surfacing will be good enough. Now, I wonder if we can find the stats for our Dread Sorcerer. There must be a Dread Sorcerer. No? Okay, so we've got the stats for that Warlord. So there must be one for a Dread Sorcerer. Grark, that's another Warlord. Orc Warlord. Lost Wizard. Balor. This is a Mage. Dark Mage, I guess. Wandering Monster Quests. Don't see one yet. So you may have to make it up. Oh no, here you go. The Witch Lord. So the Witch Lord would be like your Dark Sorcerer, wouldn't it? And so you probably have to kind of design it off the Witch Lord, which seems very capable. Interesting. They have got a set movement as well. Interesting. That's something I would not have expected that, but I can't even remember if we had that in the original one. Working on a second. Oh, you've designed one game and you're working on a second one. Yeah. Chaos is now Dread in the reprint, if memory serves, due to the Warhammer 40k tie-in. Of course. So, how do I feel about the final product? Well, yeah, okay. Let me go back to this. Okay, so I guess summary. There's a lot going on here. Like, there's far more than I would have expected, frankly. I would say, ultimately, I have no problems with the rule book. The adventure book is fine. The trap tokens are fine. The screen for the game master or Zargon is fine. It does what it needs to do. The game board is all right, but the surfacing may be a problem. So there's like a slight downgrade on that. I think that might be. It's just the surface may not survive hustle and bustle for a long time because it doesn't feel like a gloss finish. Feels like a matte finish, which is just not as strong. The miniatures, some of them are great. The vast majority are superior in terms of the sculpting. They're the weaker plastic and the weaker shafts for weapons. A lot of bent stuff. In terms of the monsters you get, I have no issue with any of them. The types of monsters they selected for the game, that's all good. What I would say is the terrain stands out as being one of the best aspects for sure. It's far superior than the original. Door frames, doors, furniture, all that stuff. The weapon rack is not as good as I would have hoped. The skulls are a huge disappointment because you only get 6 that are intact, and the others are a mess. The rats are fine. I feel like the tails are probably going to wind up breaking off the way they've designed them. The cards are all fine. I'm just a little concerned if the surfacing that they've been giving them is not like the old one, then they're probably not going to last as long. And I wonder if even the cards are as thick as the original. I don't know if they are exactly the same thickness or grade. The spells and the selection of spells, it sort of feels like it's roughly the same as well. You've got your fillable character sheets available. They've downsized the actual characters themselves. They used to be on a larger piece of card, which was very thick. Now it's just a little playing card, basically. The monster cards are all right. I'd say the treasure cards and wandering monsters, they're all right. And then you've got your equipment. Look, it does a lot of stuff. Time will tell how well it will survive at your table with anybody playing with you. And we're going to find out as it happens, because I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff with this. For those of you who are wanting to see more HeroQuest, yes, you're definitely going to see a lot more HeroQuest showing up. So what do we got here? Yeah, the Dread Sorcerer is used for the Fire Mage and Witch Lord. Yep. The Witch Lord is essentially the BBE of the entire game. Yes, and an expansion is just dedicated to that character. So yes, I don't have any of the expansions. Osric, the Dwarf, how are you doing? Greetings. Thanks for the review. You're welcome. Now, Justin, thank you for the $20 super chat. Really do appreciate it, Justin. Here's a bit of money back for taking the hit for us and doing this unboxing. Still mixed feelings. I totally understand. So, Justin, I will go over HeroQuest in the future. It may take me about anywhere. I mean, I'll probably do some shorts on some of this stuff. I'm just still trying to decide where I find the time. But I'm probably going to be doing, and I would say, is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks? I'm going to start showing you the rules for HeroQuest, which would be on my Thursday, which is your Wednesday in North America. And I will show you the rules, how the game plays. I'll use the stuff that I have. I won't just explain it. I will actually lay everything out and use the other camera so you can see how it's done, and set things up. And at some point I'll paint all this stuff, but I'll have to wait till it's my holidays. So you're going to get to see things in play a bit more, but I totally understand your feeling in terms of the cost for what you get. If the figures had been better in terms of their weapons, I would have said, even if the coating on the cardboard was not quite as good as I would have hoped, I would have said, I'm all fine with that. But yeah. Have you ever done anything with 3 Dragon Ante? Yes, I have, Todd. I have done something with 3 Dragon Ante. Unfortunately, I don't have 3 Dragon Ante because somebody else that I was friends with had 3 Dragon Ante. Looking forward to it. Wish I could play a game with you guys. Not a problem, Justin. I totally understand. Now, before you disappear, I'm going to just point out that I'm going to be back on with a bunch of people you know on YouTube. Very, very shortly. It's not actually that far off. We're going to be live doing a Game Master round table where we're going to do some homebrew stuff. We're going to homebrew a magic item, a trap, a dungeon room, because we've been doing Dungeon 23, right? Well, some of us have been. And we're also going to make a shop, but we're going to do the shop as a improv with 5 people. The live stream will be on in about, what is it? It says 2 hours for me, but I think it essentially means about 2 hours 40. And you'll have AJ Pickett, Bear Barred Tales, No Fun Allowed, How to RPG, which is me. That's how to role-playing games, not how to operate a rocket-propelled grenade launcher. And then Wally DM. We're all going to be part of that. It'll be live. It's about 2 hours long. If you're still awake, great. If you're not, I would suggest add it to your watch list and come and hang out with us, because it'll be a fun time. I always have a lot of fun with AJ and with Wally. We get along like a house on fire. Alex the Bear Bard is crazy. He's probably going to do some swearing, people, so get ready for it. It'll come. I know it will. Prepared, cook, and survive. You're welcome. And No Fun Allowed is to the point and will keep us on track. He's a no-nonsense kind of person, whereas a lot of us bring a lot of the nonsense to the party. So you're going to have a good time, I'm sure of it. Anyway, let's roll us out of here. And Hero Quest, man, it's nice to have the game back, even if it hurts the pocket a little bit. It's nice to have the game back. Okay, so let's just end this poll too. Did you ever play Hero Quest board game? Yes, 31%, no, 62%, not sure, 3%, and just watching. Understood. 29 votes. All right, let's put that in. Yeah, if you can get it on sale, that would be great. I don't know if it'll go on sale. I'll see you soon, Wally. I better go and get some other stuff done. But I want to say a big thank you to people. A real big thank you to my patrons who support me on Patreon. It makes a huge difference. It really does. I really do appreciate it. I want to thank everybody who's been here during the live stream. Thank you. Particularly, I want to thank Justin Terrell for the $20 super chat. Thank you for taking part in the poll, commenting in the chat, or just watching, or watching the replay if you're watching the replay. And thank you for watching the edited videos and the shorts videos, putting up with those shorts videos. I do appreciate it. I know they're a bit a pain sometimes, but kind of have to do them. And wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. Try a new game, maybe. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.